And then they're like, ah, it's so controlled here, I'm leaving. And honestly, this place,
Entering the autonomous region of Xinjiang, China. An area of the country not too many people know about. It's a bit of a mystery. Located in Central Asia for a long time, it has been a very inaccessible part of the country, and I wasn't even sure. Can I go there? Are they gonna let me cross the border? The thing is, it has a major population of Muslim people, the only part of China. All I wanted really to do is see if I can travel to that part of the country, how life on the ground looks like, if it's completely different from the rest of China. So today I will take you with me from crossing the border and making my way to the capital of Xinjiang, Urumqi. And I gotta tell you, it was quite different than I expected.
Окей, все. Спасибо. До свидания. Dear friends, good morning from the glorious land of Kazakhstan. And today I'm gonna be making my way through the land border into what some people say is the most controversial area of China. I ended up at the land border with the state of Xinjiang. And if you type in on the internet, there's many, articles also about crossing the border, that they like to check your phones, wherever you've been, what have you done. It's very early, guys. It's gonna be around the 6-7 hour drive to the border. So, according to the Chinese signs, that might be it. Now, Xinjiang? Xinjiang?
Where are you going?
I'm going to, what is it, Yining?
Yeah.
That's the bus?
Yeah.
The driver's coming soon, or?
Yeah, he's coming.
Alright. Alrighty, guys. Looks like this is gonna be our bus. Nice and shiny, and it's actually not expensive at all. So funky. On one side there's letters in Chinese, on this side in Russian. In Kazakhstan they mostly speak Russian, so I've been here just for a couple of weeks. Just dropped off my suitcase. Let's see if we can get a water. We have 25 minutes. I mean, it's a nice and fancy new bus, seriously. I'm so excited. Like, anything I've seen of China has been super modern, developed. Buses looks promising, but how does the very corner of the country look? A state that has a mostly non-Han. So Han is the majority of the Chinese people, and there is the Uighur people. How do they live? How does the city look? Just from Google Maps, it looks like it's not a small town for sure, but we will find it all out. So guys, we're hitting the road right now. Super nice bus. It's gonna take like 5-6 hours to get to the border. We're getting a super scenic view, leaving the Almaty mountains. No idea how the scenery is gonna be in Xinjiang, but yeah, probably gonna do a stop, and then should be soon in China. Alrighty, guys, we have made it. Автобус у меня, спасибо. Let's go. We are in the glorious country of Zhongguo. It was easy, actually. Like, for me, it was pretty easy.
Yeah, kind of like.
Not too long. Right? So the bus is gonna show up here, or?
Yeah, it's coming.
Alright, guys, we're past the border. We're gonna talk in a second, but yeah, looks very different here than just like 100 meters back there. Nature, you still see the mountains, but look at these gates. It's like a proper Chinese wall here. And here we are. Alrighty, my friends, we have made it into China. Now, what kind of China? In some ways, reminds me of things I've seen before. I mean, I've been to a couple of cities, most recently Shanghai. But Urumqi is famous for being quite a unique part of the country. In some ways, the infrastructure, of course. I mean, that was crazy. Like, you know, you exit Kazakhstan, you get into China, and the border just looks like, I don't know, gates of China, some type of most like fancy, like big, very formal building. And I'm right now in the city of Yining. So I could have continued to the capital of Urumqi. It would have taken me another 7 hours or so. As you see, it's already getting dark. Actually, last night, I barely slept today. Last night I was making sure I have a hotel booking, making sure I have my flight out of China, because they might ask you, you know, you can have a transit visa. I'm here for like a good week. But they didn't ask me many questions. With a little translator, the guy at the border asked me like some couple basic questions. Where I'm going, what I'm doing. And I was off to the races. So funky, guys. Like I told you, the people here are very closely connected. The guy on the bus told me it's basically the same people. The Uyghurs and the Uzbeks. And here we got like very Samarkand looking structure. I mean, it's like, looks newly built. I don't think it's from like the Timurid era, like in Uzbekistan. Some kind of mall they made. Looks like they're embracing this side of the population here, and my hotel should be somewhere around here. It could be this, who knows? Who knows? I paid 20 bucks and looks like I'm gonna stay in a palace. Okay, so when I booked this huge hotel on trip.com, I was like, that looks huge, and that is 20 bucks. I'm just here for a night, just to recover, early morning, catch the train to the capital. But what is this? I mean, this is, in some ways, pretty freaking cool. So overall, the town is rather quiet. There's not much going on here. We're actually close to the train station. Looks like everything here is newly built. My friend on the bus told me there's kind of like a more older historical center. Oh yeah. Let's see what 20 bucks gets you in Yining, Xinjiang, China. Oh. You know. Oh. Okay. Check in. Booking on the trip. Whoa guys, I'm not gonna lie, this is spooky. Some luxury, opulence in Xinjiang for 20 bucks. And obviously it's like very worn down, as you see. But I freaking love it. I mean, it's like much bigger than I expected. I thought it was maybe like a theme little hotel. I booked it because it's next to the train station. Let's see. 9088. Wow, wow, wee wah. So it seems like I'm 1 out of 10 people in the city, and I'm 1 out of 1 in the hotel, but that's not gonna hold us back from having a great time. 9088. Wow, that looks actually pretty nice. I mean, like nice carpets on the ground. I mean, in some ways it looks like a very aged, good 4-star hotel. And so this, my friends, is what 20 bucks a night gets you in Xinjiang. No, for real, what did I book? I thought I'm booking a hotel next to the train station, which I think I'm seeing right from here. Wow, I mean, oh yeah, the carpet is very dirty, to be fair with you. Maybe it's one of those people that just walk in with their outside shoes. But it's like a suite. I think I've never been in such a large like hotel room for 20 bucks. And like seriously, it's almost a little bit like sad, you know, maybe they had ambitions. They had this vision of this bathroom, yo. So it's gonna be one night that is ginormous. 12 floors, so I think like 50 or 100 rooms on each floor. A lot. So why not check out the train station so we know everything better tomorrow morning? And wow, it's like the Vegas of Xinjiang here. So colorful. The train station is super busy in the evening. Foods, little cafes down there, and yeah, like actually first impression was I was just on a random road, but actually like, you know, there's quite some infrastructure here for China, small town, for the world, metropolis. There's like blankets. Let's go buy a ticket. Oh. Yeah, ticket to Urumqi?
Today,
Tomorrow,
tomorrow,
first morning.
tomorrow morning, afternoon, night.
Morning, first one.
15 past 9. 15 past 9.
Perfect, very good. Very good.
How many people?
One.
Just one.
Alipay, okay? Alipay?
您到付成功
谢谢。
收款18元。
So, up into a little restaurant here. Let's get a little snack. Some more snacks. They always got like really cool waters here. Super. Got myself a chicken feet. Wow, I'm going wild. And we do have to definitely talk about the train station here, because it's a bit different than the rest of China. 谢谢.
Что это?
Я не
Какое-то
знаю.
прикольное такое. Это суп?
So guys, real quick, before we continue with today's adventure, I have to tell you, there's no more frustrating thing than being on the road, your suitcase gives up on you, or you have a huge bag on your back that is just weighing you down. I'm telling you, the solution is having a high quality luggage, and in this case, level 8. So I've been with their suitcases on the road for many years now, and I have to tell you, next to looking absolutely slick, so their aluminium line, the Gibraltar carry-on, their checked luggage with the wide grip, the selection is really big, and especially the carry-on cases, I have to tell you, it's luxury quality, very durable, with a lifetime warranty. In case anything happens, reach out to the customer support, but at the same time at a much more affordable price than comparable brands with a similar quality. So I have to tell you, this is the level 8 carry-on pro with a laptop sleeve. Has been my favorite for a while in terms of the elegance, but also the durability, the premium aluminium suitcase, the Gibraltar carry-on. So with my code right now, Danny15, you can get 15% off any of their pieces, worldwide shipping. So no matter where you are, you can get your hands on one of them. So no matter where you're traveling, be it Shanghai, be it China, be it some tropical places, be it some, I have to tell you, carry-on, even for adventure travel, I think is the better option personally, out of experience. I'm telling you, with the back problems, with carrying it around, if you're traveling in style, the checked luggage, absolutely out of this world. So just check out their website, use my code Danny15 to support the channel here as well. And with that, well, let's get back to today's adventure. Okay guys, obviously this shot is recorded already quite a bit later. It was not supposed to be bright when I wake up. Like I mentioned, I only slept a couple of hours last night, and somehow the unimaginable for me happened. I was a good boy. I got a ticket in advance to make everything smooth in the morning, and then I overslept. I had to wake up at like 7 a.m. Beijing time. Right now it's like 10, nice and sunny outside. And the problem is the next train is at 2 p.m. So let's look at the bright side. The train ticket was not that expensive. Let's look at the dark side. It cuts off pretty much a full day in Urumqi that I would have had in the capital. But we can see a bit more of Ili, Yining, depending how you want to call this city. And seriously, in the morning it looks quite funky. We're seeing, you probably don't see it, but there's like a mountain range similar to Kazakhstan Almaty. This looks absolutely freaky right here. You see the windows all messed up, but let's get out. Let's make the best of it. Quick shower, and gonna leave it a little bit later, but come on, man. I was really pissed in the morning, but things happen. A bit annoying, but we're gonna be fine. Alrighty, bye-bye. 5-star ghost hotel. It's been nice. Well guys, always let's look at the bright side. It's sunny. My Pepsi. Look at this nice Chinese Pepsi. So leaving the Central Asia International Hotel, if you happen to ever be in the city, I recommend it. I mean, 17 bucks. Nice. And what I will have to do is get to the train station because I'm checking online and the seating tickets are selling out. So this is a real headache. I might get to Urumqi only in the evening, or I can stand for 5 hours. That would be not amazing, but I'm considering it actually, because I'll have only one day in Urumqi if I don't get there earlier today. But yeah, we get some time to explore Yining a little bit. I'll head to the station over real quick. It's only a 10-minute walk. And then let's see what is going on here during the day. A little bit busier, a little bit more alive. I like it. Let's see, where can we cross? So look at that. That is quite interesting. Group of, my guess would be Han Chinese men carrying Uzbek bread. Nice.
Please hold the handrail. Pay attention to food safety.
And so it seems like I'm pretty much living at the train station here in Xinjiang. Really a little bit mad at myself, but at least I'm nice and well rested. Just bought a train ticket, luckily. So the good news is I was able to get the first one after the 9:30 a.m. I booked one. And the funny thing is there's police almost everywhere. This one has a funky little car, but generally much more than I usually see in China. But first class, that's what I wanted to say. Second class they didn't have, like regular. That train was like 10 bucks or 15. This one is a good 30. Yeah, cool. Gonna check out the first class train in Xinjiang, and that should get me to Urumqi by 8 p.m. And that is actually a really funny thing I have not mentioned yet. I think when I was coming here I was talking to you about how the whole immigration went. Don't know, maybe those shots were a bit dark, but that was actually fairly smooth and easy. The thing is, there is not a transit visa here in Xinjiang. That's also why I'm traveling right now by myself for a couple days here. But what is quite, let's say, peculiar about this part of the world is that China has one time zone, officially. Everything runs on Beijing time. I guess it's good for business. I'm not sure exactly why they decided to do it, but unofficially, obviously China is a huge country, so there's a lot of time zones. And my friend on the bus told me that people here live kind of like on a local time, which is +1 to Kazakhstan. So here right now it's like 2 p.m, but officially it runs more like 12. So I don't know if he told me like Uyghurs around on local time, Chinese people more on Beijing time. Whether or not it's true, I would have to ask these people, but I do not speak the lingua. So everybody not crossing, even though there's no cars. Very German. So I'm not sure what is happening, but I do think they are inviting me for a nice hot lunch. Or brunch for me it would be. You have lunch, yeah? What do you have? Let's check. Let's go. So he got me. Oop. So we're basically at a pretty nice restaurant actually overall. Wanted to get my luggage already, but if you get famoused inside, you get famoused inside. Ooh, actually looks pretty nice. Overall, like I said, it's a small town. Let's see.
Noodle.
I'll take a look. So we're gonna figure this all out. So guys, look at me. I know how to get around. Chicken, fish casserole, prawn casserole. Yeah, but noodle would be good actually. Yesterday I had some rice. Chicken?
This chicken.
Chicken, yes.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Chicken.
Yeah. So, we ordered some chicken noodle soup, it looks like. It's funky, the man looks... It's hard to say, you know, I'm very interested ethnically where the people are from, but he has like a hat that I know from Uzbekistan, but he himself looks Chinese. It's interesting, maybe it's a Chinese style hat, but yeah, I'm gonna be having a little bit of a meal here, and let's try not to miss the second train. You can burn me in the comment section. Whenever it's not like a high price ticket, I tend to sometimes miss them. So I'm like, oh, 15 bucks train, fantastic, that's so affordable. And then in the morning I woke up at 6 and I'm like, oh, I'm so broken, 7, whatever, Beijing time. I'm like, let's do 7:30. And in the morning when I woke up then later at 10, I saw that it wasn't 7:30. Like I had the 7:30 alarm on, but I didn't press save for it to ring. So that's what happened. Learn from my mistakes. And generally for around here, I recommend using trip.com. I think it's a Singaporean website, so they're a bit more reliable when it comes to booking these places actually and finding more of them. Wow, wow, wowie. Something's boiling here, look at that. So we got pretty much a hot, boiling noodle soup with chicken, and wow, it's like real chicken. It looks kind of like braised, a little bit stewed maybe. Noodle structure looks very interesting, and there's some chili in there, so we're in for an adventure. I'm gonna let it slightly cool down, and then it's time to head to the train station. So the chicken tastes pretty nice. Hot. The noodles are pretty cool. And the soup tastes like straight from hell. Ooh. It's pretty spicy. And the flavor is very unique. Couldn't say it's my favorite. I'd give it a 6, maybe 7 out of 10. But we even got some rice to top it off. So I've had some of the best noodle soups in China. My all-time best are probably Thai. This one, I don't know if it's a regional thing, but tastes a little bit like just spicy, really. So guys, actually I would say that was some kind of seafood soup I had there. Pretty nice, super spicy, but towards the end I actually, I'll give it a 7. And honestly, I have to tell you, I'm not really seeing, I think, proper Xinjiang yet. From what I understand is this part of the town is kind of like mostly modern, probably built, you know, maybe more recently, I would definitely say. And with that, the goal is going to be to get into Urumqi. From like in this city, I think if you go into the city center, that's when you're going to see like Uighur neighborhoods. And from what I've heard, like here I've only seen this one spot. Actually, let's walk by where they're selling Uzbek bread, samsa, things like that. But I think in Urumqi we're really gonna see the proper real thing. Got a nice little Porsche 718 standing here, and I have to tell you, in some ways it's a cute little Chinese town, but in other ways, especially my hotel is a little bit dystopian in the sense of it's kind of like a Vegas style hotel. In the back there is like a big mall shopping complex which looks like half abandoned. I'm just trying to cross in there, and it's kind of like, you know, somebody had a nice idea to build the infrastructure like that, but in many, especially like rather less successful or smaller Chinese cities, they build infrastructure like the one town, kind of like where they build the Eiffel Tower, but really it just looks kind of like here, just little shops. And sometimes these things, they just don't have enough customers, they don't have enough people to, you know, to realize the idea that you had in mind, and it just becomes some kind of abandoned Vegas hotel. So the hotel itself is actually nice, but in the back, really nice looking shopping complex, but you see just how it's falling apart. And this is what I was talking about. Here is an Uzbek, Uighur, obviously, bakery. I'm so familiar with these breads from cities like Samarkand, Bukhara. They have it everywhere. And here, nice little bakery. Very nice. Can I take a look? Can I? Yeah, it's okay. Let me see. So they're cooking the bread here fresh. Hello. So bread from there, yeah? Mm-hmm. So pretty much just how they do it in Uzbekistan. Sheshe. I'm like, I cannot speak Uzbek. But that is the funny thing, you know, when you're in Uzbekistan, most, especially the older generation, they speak perfect Russian. But here, that's not the history. So here the people speak Chinese, but they have the same roots. And yeah, interesting. But honestly, most likely Urumqi will be the most kind of like wealthy and developed of all of Central Asia, from just looking at Google Images. But how did the people live there? I've even heard like some people were saying, I think that's also years ago, that there was a curfew, something like that. Who knows? I'm sure we will be fine, because so far, even though there's definitely tighter security everywhere, nobody, you know, bats an eye on me walking around here filming, which when you think border town of China, if you watch too much news, you might be thinking might be tricky. But here we are. So that's what I mean, guys. We got this pretty sick hotel, and in the back of it, what are we looking at? Used to be probably cool, kind of like, you see, you probably don't see, basically some type of markets probably, but it's mostly abandoned, you know. Yao, hello. Interesting looking people. I wonder if they're, didn't look very Chinese, almost look Filipino to me. Probably tourists as well. I'm like, here, ni hao. All right, let's get my luggage. Let's get to the train station. Appa, push. Whew. Heading out. Here, that is the back. As you see, big lock. And there, pretty nice concept. Who knows? Maybe it's coming back. Sheshe, bye-bye. Sweetest security guard. Just asked him for the toilet, he didn't know the word, so I'm just like, psst. Oh man, sign language is the best. So, Yining, Ili, Gula, different names for the city, depending who you ask. But it was interesting, I gotta say. But I'm interested to see what is going on in the big city. So don't get me wrong, this little town there, for a train station, for a border town, like nothing else in this part of the world could compare. It's like when I was heading out to come here, you see the bus to China, which looks like a spaceship, and then you see the bus to Bishkek, which is pretty much driving on 3 wheels from Soviet times. Considering that, they built like a nice town, got some nice little restaurants, and it's actually more developed than I thought in that sense. But Urumqi is a big city, so I'm very curious to get there. And as you know by now, we're gonna be going first class, which probably is just a nice seat, but who knows. I've once took a first class train in Shanghai, and that stuff, that was really worth it. That was really cool. That was like a little space pod bed. Here, I don't know, maybe the trains are older, so we're gonna find that out. Maybe I'll do it in a separate video. If you're interested in depth, let me know down below. Maybe I'll give you a little glimpse now, but the next stop is gonna be Urumqi. And I'm very interested to see how that will go for me. Will I be able to film freely? How is the situation gonna be on the ground? I'm gonna arrive actually in the evening. So guys, in here, of course, we got the plov. We got the chef. It looks very good, very good. train station. Thank you. I would have had a bite, but we're already full. Oh man, plov is life. And the music here, obviously. Is it Chinese? Don't know. All right, let's get to the train station. Security checks are very, very tight. I've never been touched down, patted down so much at the train station like I am today. So let's not get detained for filming, because I want to catch my second train. Okay, my dear friends, I might be far. Yeah, I have half an hour to get through this very long line, or I'll miss the second train for today. So we made it in on time. That's good. Time to go in. Security took like half an hour. Okay guys, so the train is here. Now try to figure out where's the first class. Second class looking not bad, 3 seats in a row. First class probably 2 would be my guess. Some guys in uniforms, my friends at every train station, because I never find my seat. Let's see. First class? First class? Yeah? Look at me. First class, first class. Wow. No, honestly, feels so much more comfortable this time around traveling China if you have been before, because everything is in Chinese. Nobody, everybody speaks Chinese. So once you have figured out all the apps, once you have figured out kind of like at the train you cannot go through where everybody else is going, you need to be at the side where they check the documents manually. Okay, second class, first class should be coming up. Okay guys, I'm about to run out of luck, because first class is not coming. Did the lady... Okay, last chance. Nope. Second class. The hell? Let's ask here. Hello. First class?
One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. 那边
Hey, all the way there?
往那边就是弯啊
Here?
弯啊 right
Okay.
啊这个是弯啊
All the way back, all the way back, real quick. Okay. Well guys, first class in Xinjiang is not quite first class in Shanghai, but nice and comfortable. Ooh, I'm happy I'm on a train. Looks pretty cool. It's like a green type of thing. So in Shanghai, and generally all over China, they have these like newer trains. This one's still very nice. Better than most trains in Germany, not gonna lie. Oh, level 8 is rolling. Okay guys, we're heading towards Urumqi, and I gotta tell you, it's quite fascinating because we are very rural. Look at this. Wow, they're building a highway as we speak right there. In some ways it reminds me of the scenery in Tajikistan, maybe Afghanistan. We're not far, but the fact that they built a railroad pretty much, going through mountains, it's very cold around here. In the month it's going to be -10, -20. Yeah, quite fascinating. So overall, very good train. Definitely, I don't know if the first class upgrade is worth it. Like, seats are a bit more comfortable, but it costs like almost double. But still, this is 30 bucks. 30 bucks for a 5-hour train ride. Very good value. This is what we're looking at. Everybody's nice. Policeman came up to me, where are you from? Then he told me no smoking. I was like, alright, do my best. No problem. Touchdown in Urumqi. It's cold, I'm telling you. Much colder. Oh, look at that oil train. Big smoking nation, as you see. Everybody gets a cig. I'm digging it. So guys, as of by now, I'm having a jam here. I don't hear nothing. I'm getting used to it. Train stations look like airports, not small airports. Yeah, this could be almost like Dubai or airport with all these camels. Not that they have any, but... So, Urumqi, the biggest city in Xinjiang. It's cold. It's like -3, -4 right now outside. I'm not ready for that season. It's got how sweet. People are waiting for their family, potentially some taxi drivers. And I'm living somewhere here. Wow, wow, wow. Freaking hell, guys, that's what I call a train station right there. I mean, the one in Shanghai was a bit older than this one. So, you got some polar bears here. And so many sky rises. Like, I'm freezing like crazy right now. I just checked, -7. So let's see where I'm living. Okay guys, here we are in Urumqi. I think this is my hotel. Looks like it, so let's see. Okay, so where's my hotel? Where am I? Wait, this does look like my... No, it's not my hotel. What? Okay. I'm in the right neighborhood, I guess. No guys, for real, I'm looking for the hotel. This is wild. I've never seen something like this. Like a little SEXO shop to go. Full anonymity, other than when your neighbor sees you popping up with a big box. Oh wow, that's a pocket thing. Both tools, you know? They got it all. No, for real. I wanted to stay close to the train station. It was like a 10-minute walk. And like so often in China, it's like, let's say hotels that are like a bit more on the budget side. They are often inside of like buildings. So let's see. Do you recognize me? I've not been here before, but... For Yunbo? It's here? Okay. No, for chicken. Okay guys, so went out, it's super cold, got some really cool funky Chinese products. Look at that, Alien Energy, 200 grams of caffeine, 0 sugar, 0 Sprite. We got some coconut water, we got some protein bar, God knows what it is, and we got eggs. These eggs are delicious, and I got some like meat, and that's not what the video is about. Look, I'm very intrigued and excited to check out Urumqi. As you see, maybe you don't, but it's very, very cold. And I'm in the very west of the country, in a state that pretty much half of the population is Muslim, the Uighur people. Very similar to the Uzbeks, Central Asia. And many ways still, it looks very much like China. I'm very close to the train station. Today I want to find out a little bit more why this region in some way is rather introvert. Let's see, 3609, my guy. All right. Whew, let's go guys. Let's go to the old town.
你好，
你好，
你要玩是吧？
bazaar?
嗯，好。
That is always one thing about China, the taxis are fantastic. Electric, look at that. Man basically has a spaceship. So right now we're pretty much headed to the old town of Urumqi to start off. There we should get the best idea, because the city is huge, pretty much the largest city in Central Asia, and you see it. Wow. Bye bye. So that was a nice ride here. Nice car as always. And we got to very different looking, like seriously, driving through the city, it's quite surreal. In some ways, it's just like any other big city in China, depending on the direction you look. In other ways, the infrastructure, some houses, some people, some shops you see outside are so different. The thing is, most people in China are part of, let's say, the Han ethnic group. But there's around like 50, maybe even a bit more in China. And Xinjiang is the state where there's a lot of Uyghurs. And from what I was reading is Urumqi is one of the most different cities in all of China, because there's not many old, let's say, Chinese buildings. Obviously, lots of new ones, as you can see. But just a couple of decades, perhaps 50, 60, 70 years ago, it looked very different here. The Uyghurs are a nomadic tribe, so they used to live a very different life a long time ago. And now, I mean, I've been in all of Central Asia, Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, Tajikistan. This is incomparable to it. This is a, what is it, 4 or 5 million people city, 4 point something, I think. It's huge. For Chinese standards, mid-size. For global standards, it's a beast. So let's dive into this market, the Grand Bazaar. Okay guys, walking into the International Grand Bazaar. This place is insane. Look at that. And what I just realized while I was wandering around there, there's a military car with pretty much snipers sitting there. That's quite interesting. Like, that's some of the most intense, let's say, Chinese military I've ever seen. So, to begin off this story of Xinjiang, this is obviously like a new setup, which is pretty cool. They're kind of like reimagining the traditional, I would say, very similar to Uzbek architecture. So the Uyghur people are the closest to the Uzbeks, and if you compare it to cities like, maybe this looks like Bukhara. I think those videos are not out yet, but I've been recently in Uzbekistan, and the city of Bukhara has also like a column like that. This one is quite a bit taller. Like you see, it's not 500-600 years old like in Bukhara, but still pretty cool. Let's walk in, go away from those sounds. Let's talk about it. So it's definitely a tourist attraction, you could say. And I'm actually surprised so far how freely I can film around here. So I want to be just on the ground and show you how the real life looks here. But what definitely is the case, that it's pretty much the most restricted and controlled regions due to just, let's say, instabilities that have happened here at times. And I think as of right now, it's much more calmer than in recent times. So I think years ago, it was much harder to enter here. For now, I got into Xinjiang very easily through the land border with Kazakhstan. You can fly in here. It doesn't offer like things like transit visas, but I think in some ways they're even thinking about making it a tourist destination, and this very much looks like so. This building looks actually quite a bit older. Is it a mosque? Not sure. But this market in many ways looks like they set it up. There's also a lot, I would say, even like in some ways mostly Chinese people shopping around here, enjoying themselves. So Google says that it's around 40%, 41% or something like that of Uyghur people. I was actually talking to some guys on the bus that are living in a border town, and he was basically telling me that this region has been changing a lot in just the last 10-20 years. Like, people used to live here in small houses, live the old school nomadic life, eat plov,
shurpa, the usual things. They also do the Uzbek bread around here. I call it Uzbek bread, in this case the Uighur bread. And it has changed a lot. A lot of skyscrapers came up. Obviously, what surprises me, I mean, that is central planning really, that the city itself, the big buildings and everything, it looks quite like the rest of China. And the prices are also very similar to other big cities I've been to. Pretty affordable. Like, you know, is it okay? Take a look. Yeah. Yeah, in some ways similar, in some ways different. Oop. You know, is it okay? Take a look. Yeah, it's okay. So basically they're selling traditional clothing. It's actually quite nice, lots of details. Reminds me of my recent time in Afghanistan, where they also have these like hats. Generally the nature, the landscape is a lot like, you know, the rest of Central Asia. You have tall mountains, you have, oh wow, these boots are nice. Nice boots. So it looks like they're doing photo ops here in the back. Yeah, you can travel back in time. So those were the old days. Or should I say Rahmat, probably. But it's been a long time, you know. Everybody obviously speaks Chinese on the ground, from what I understand, as well as to their own languages. And this park, kind of like lower buildings, but you see it's new. It's like built maybe 10-20 years ago, 30 perhaps. Not like an old town in other cities. But what I do like is that they're really selling a lot of different stuff. It's not just like touristy trinkets, but it's like proper. What do we got here? We got some solid dates, we got some raisins. All right, let me wander around a bit. And what I definitely also want to see today is a more modern side, eat some nice food. So the thing is, the Uyghurs are Muslim. So with that, that's also a conversation I had on the bus coming in here. It's hard for them to live in other parts of China because pork is life. In China, a lot of pork dishes. Actually, the way they make it is one of my favorite ways. I personally am a big lamb and beef guy. I prefer it whenever I can. And in this region, obviously, the food's going to be a bit different. But the thing is also, the other half of the population is mostly Han. So you get regular Chinese life. But in terms of development, it's on par with most, let's say, mid-tier, maybe even high-tier, I don't know. I mean, it's no Shanghai, but it's not that much different, you know, in terms of infrastructure, all the conveniences. And for me, this is not the first time I'm in China. Like Hong Kong, I've been many times. How do they call them? Tandoor, pipa, dutar. And behind it, tons of police. Maybe you see it. At first I thought it's like a one-car type of thing, but they're everywhere. And to be fair, I don't want to be like, oh wow, never seen police, because you know, if you're like in the Philippines, they have a guy with a huge shotgun next to a grocery store. And honestly, some markets in Europe could use a bit more security. I mean, I'm just saying that it is a lot, but it still feels very chill, at least around here. Hello. Hi. Some guys are like giving me a bit too much attention. I'm gonna be part of the content now. So it's very much like an attraction for, I don't know, Chinese people, I would guess. So that's for me kind of like definitely want to see the real life. But if we're here, let's check it out. Let's check it out what they have set up here. Oh wow, that's actually nice. Wow. So they got literally the biggest and the smallest egg in the world. You can find in Xinjiang. So here you have the little baby eggs, and here, wow, what is that? A duck egg? I've never seen such a big egg. But here you got the amazing bread that they're making. Hello. Traditional way, super nice. Steamed dumpling, that must be Chinese overall. Turkish coffee.
Turkish coffee.
Very nice. So honestly, very nice food court. I am getting hungry. What should I eat? Should I eat what I've been eating for the last few weeks, which is plov and their bread? So for me, it would be almost trying something new if I would have some Chinese food now. Because, like I said, Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, they all make the bread, they make the barbecue, they make amazing plov. If I see a good plov, I might try it, but I honestly might be opting for a Uighur man making me some Chinese food. That could be something. Fresh ingredients. Here's kind of like a food court overall. So actually, look at that. The man is steaming the barbecue. So literally, a group of Chinese kids explores Xinjiang with a tour guide. Look at that. We got some funky organs. I am one of you guys. I'm with you. Alrighty guys, so this old timer, the fashion is strong. Like, that is truly interesting. I don't know what it is, but let's say the post-Soviet, actually the Soviet Union grandpas living in a post-Soviet world now, some of them dress like really gentleman-like. I think the decision is made. Let's try Uighur plov, the most, I would say, common food. Hello. Can I have one portion? One portion? It's okay?
America?
Me? Ukraine.
Ukraine?
Yes, yes.
Uzbek, you
I've been to Uzbek.
Uzbek?
Uzbek, very nice. You speak? Let's do small. Yeah. Thank you. So, we got some Uighur plov. The guys are very excited to see me. They do obviously understand Chinese. I don't know into what language I should switch it on my Google Translate to be more homey with them. Probably Uzbek. But yeah, let's try it. Nice and hot. Yeah, just as good as in Uzbekistan. The brothers went easy on the meat. I think they forgot, but they're sweethearts. I'm sure they didn't mean it. But just the flavor of the plov. It's simple rice, but it's so different from Chinese food. And this might be the last regional plov I'll be eating in Central Asia. So let's enjoy it. So I would say you truly see, feel, and hear the Uzbek vibe. So now that we got a little bit of a snack, let's dive into the more real city, like the side streets. I know they have a big business district as well here in Urumqi. And once you get out of the market, that is really how the city looks. Driving in a taxi, this is how most of it looks. Some newer, some older. Honestly, it is a good bit different from anything else I have seen in China so far, but not drastically. So like some maybe like 20-year-old buildings, more old school, but other than that, it's like a 50-50. It's almost like that's how it feels. Also how the population is. Some shops, some corners you are at, you don't feel it, and then others, you're like full on in Uzbekistan. So let's dive in a little bit, let's see what we can find. Luckily it's warming up a little bit. And what I am surprised so far is that I'm filming everywhere and everything, and it's not a problem. So traveling here so far seems like a breeze. Now that is more what I'm talking about. We're going up 10-15 minutes, the vibe completely changes. Local, real trade. And I have to tell you, the old-timers, their fashion, I'm just a big fan. Their gesticulation, their body language. Seriously, people carry themselves here very, very big grandpa energy. So here we're having the bread, as always. And what I was basically saying is, this looks like a more local, more real market. More actually like people coming here to shop for stuff. And you see also the things that are being sold are quite a little bit different, like daily goods, socks, hats. And to be fair, sometimes it's obviously very easy to tell the ethnicity of somebody here, but sometimes it's like it's hard, you know. Some people are probably also mixed over the years a little bit. Probably doesn't happen a lot, would be my guess, from my understanding of these regions. But yeah, It's really funky. It's really, really funky. Like, my brain is exploding a little bit right now because you're in Kazakhstan. People look very, very different from Uzbekistan. Much more Mongolian, much more Asian. Then you arrive in China and you meet your Uzbek brothers that you saw 3-4 weeks ago. That's when I was in Uzbekistan. And I'm just like, my whole, like, I'm like in a dream. I'm in China, but I'm in Uzbekistan. I'm in Kazakhstan, but I'm in Mongolia. A little bit getting everything mixed up, but I saw some skyscrapers in the distance. It'd be nice to also see a different neighborhood. So let's head there. Here is some type of business. The men are gathering. Look at that. Now that's what I call local food. Not very talkative. Hello. He is. So I just wanted to stop by here to give you an idea. It's a nice, interesting fusion. So they're having Uzbek food, they're having plov, but right next to it they're also having dumplings that are steaming. They're very Chinese style. So the market, got to give the customers what they want. And as I'm walking down the street here, just trying to understand this place a little bit more. It depends the source you check. I just checked Wikipedia. There it says it's only 12.5% Uyghurs here, 75% Han. On the street it definitely feels more, and the more I walk around, I do have to admit that it is different from anywhere in China. While in terms of the systems, the infrastructure, it's kind of the same, the overall vibe is quite different. So I've heard also that is the second spot for today. I want to see how the city looks, obviously, and there's some type of lookout spot we can head to. It's in that direction, so let's see what we can find on the way there. And as I'm walking, I mean, I guess it makes sense. There's a metro station. It's a huge city. I have not seen it on the map. Let's check it out. I'm freezing like crazy. My hands are barely moving. But what I saw behind the train station is quite intriguing. A very Uzbek looking, very, I would say, Uyghur looking building. But at the same time, it has the Chinese, I don't know how these like red things are called, and have like dancing statues. Woman is dancing, men is playing the instrument. Wow, this building really sticks out from the whole skyline. Right here, let's check out what that is. We have it in Arabic, we have it in Chinese, something from 1957. Basically, it looks like some form of theater. Very interesting. So what strikes me as quite interesting is that there is a lot of cultural things from them around here. The market, the theaters. I think we started off at the market. Is kind of like, I wouldn't be surprised if other neighborhoods are much less. That different people concentrate in different areas. But honestly, quite nice to see that they're keeping all these things, because from what I understand is the Han population went up a lot in the last couple of decades. Since 1990, basically, the city economically grew like crazy. With that, the population, mostly people from the rest of China, came to live here. When I first heard that, I was like, wow, why would you come? But now I understand, actually. It's like a proper big city. And there's again military cars. So I decided to check out the subway. I'm exploring. I want to see different parts of the town, not just go to, I don't know, some kind of market, or I don't know. Let's drive up a little bit. It seems like that's where the city is concentrated. Okay, look at that. We do have English. Where are we though?
这个南门站，这个
This one,
这个，你到哪？到七。
This,
是南门。
this is where?
这个是现在是，等会儿。
This
我知道
station is.
这个现在是，哎， 这个南门站，这
This
个
one,
这个这个，就
Nanmen?
啊南门
Nanmen.
对，这是
Okay.
南门啊，那是国际机场，
谢谢。
山东边。
We understood each other. We're at Nanmen. So let's go to... Where should we go? Let's go to Nanhu Square. How about Nanhu Square? That sounds exciting. Okay, inside the station right now. I think we're going to be probably going to the, would be my guess, a bit more business district, because we're a little bit further outside of the city, like where on the map it says like the center. And something happened to me in China that never happens. Already a couple of times I just realized that I am getting approached by Chinese people in Chinese, asking me questions. It's clear they're like looking for directions or something like that. And I think they know there's people here that look different. So with full confidence they speak Chinese to me. An older lady helped me actually to get the ticket. She was very nice and sweet. I actually didn't know what to do. So they have bathrooms in all of the metro stations all over China. I've mentioned it before in the China video and they were like, oh wow, you're so impressed by toilets. You see, the thing is, in most of the world, especially in Europe, they don't have toilets. They don't have toilets in the metro. And here they do. It's a lifesaver. Ugh. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Close to the urinal, close to civilization. Yeah.
Please take your belongings in margin stand when climbing from the tram.
So we made it to Nanhu Square. So I would say I did overdo it a little bit. I'm further than where I wanted to be. But here is truly real life. I might take like a taxi. But kind of like markets, busy, food. And like I expected, a bit more, less, you know, more Chinese people around here. In the back. Let's do one. Or maybe this one. I paid you. Here.
我知道，我
15?
给你，我给你
Here.
换一个钱儿。
I don't need nothing. I paid you. Thank you. Okay, 谢谢. Bye bye. So guys, that was a very interesting moment with a local lady. So I bought some of these fancy grapes I wanted to try. First time I saw them was in Kazakhstan. They were selling them for like $8. Crazy. Here I paid 2. I asked her how much for a kilo, and then she waited for me, and then she typed in 25 yuan into my Alipay, which is like $3.50. But actually it's 15 yuan, which is more like 2. We got grapes. We got grapes. That is the thing, is like if you don't speak the language, especially here, like tourists are not common, so she just speaks to me. She just keeps speaking to me, and I'm just standing there like, oh. But yeah, we're good. Super nice. Fresh fruit market. Wow, look at these grapes. Just look at them. Now that's what I call some nice, proper grapes. And generally that never happened to me before in China. Maybe she also just made a mistake, honestly. To give her the benefit of the doubt, but I don't know what it was with the cash payment at the end. So yeah, let's make it to the viewpoint. I would say let's do that. And so we have wandered into a park. What's it called? Something peak. Basically, we're making our way up to get an idea of the city. And what is it? I mean, on the weekends probably buzzing. Generally, Urumqi in the summer probably it's quite a bit of a different vibe because the leaves are down. It's cold. It gives everything also kind of a bit of like a mysterious vibe. It's interesting. But here's like a playground, you know. It's called the Hongshan Mountain, where we're heading up right now. So here they set up some like Chinese temple thing, but it's basically like an attraction park on the mountain. Got a Ferris wheel, a couple of roller coasters, and all of that with the view. Not bad, not bad. Let's see the view. So here we are, all the way on top of the mountain. Super cool
lookout spot. Right now it's quite hazy, the sun's coming from the other way. I don't know, is it pollution, is it the cold weather, a mix of both probably. But you see, it's a ginormous city. I mean, 4 million people. For China, it sounds like, you know, rather small to me. They have the 10 million, 20 million, Shanghai 25, Chongqing like 32 million in the region, things like that. But still, definitely an enormous city. And actually, what is quite funny is little grandma just approached me. That doesn't happen. That doesn't happen often. She wanted to talk to me. Very sweet. Here, the one that's standing around there. And you know, it makes you just like question when you're in such interesting, unique places with a unique history. You know, the person like that, old grandma, is she visiting? Is she living here? If she's coming from somewhere else, why is she visiting? What are her thoughts? What is her life experience? You know, those fascinating things. And yeah, maybe I'm getting old myself a little bit, but truly, it's a very interesting experience for me to be here. In some ways, I'm happy I'm only here for one day because I'm freezing my butt off. But as you see, we're looking at modern Urumqi. I'm seeing some screens in the back, tons of cars. Let's get in there. Let's see what's going on in modern Urumqi. And grandma is back at it again, discussing things with some other boys. Looks like I'm not special. Teaching them the Chinese way. Oh, sweet old grandma. So we're all the way up. Quite a sick spot. Amazing lookout view. So basically there is some type of red. That looks pretty old actually. And then we're looking pretty much all over the city. So from here you're getting a nice 360. Don't know what all these signs mean. Probably don't come. Oh no, don't throw garbage off. All right. I did not plan to do that. This is the Instagram red Xiaohongshu lookout spot. Those are Chinese social medias. We are, I would say, in the Manhattan of Urumqi. 5th Avenue, basically. I mean, seriously, a big contrast to everything we've seen so far. It's even a bit more development over here than I expected. Got some big buildings, probably mostly business, banks, some big mall. Let's check that out. Let's check that out before I freeze to death. Made it into the, I think, CC Mall. It is, and I mean, like any other mid-sized mall in China, pretty fancy, electric cars everywhere. Ooh. And I could really use a coffee right now. I don't know what we can get here. So nice, like open roof, daylight coming in. And I gotta tell you, here you couldn't even tell really in what city in China you are. Like mostly just Chinese shops, international shops, anything as per usual. Success. We are in a space pod basically. Little massage pod. Keeps talking to me. Woo! Interesting. Just paid it with Alipay over here. And we're off to the races. It's hitting my back. See that? I got you. I understood. Okay. Probably the machine is telling me, bugger off. And so after spending a good, what is it already? 8 hours wandering through Urumqi. Very different neighborhoods. I would say finally we're gonna check out a little bit this modern street. I think this is the tallest tower. And let me share with you my thoughts, my honest thoughts on how it feels. What I didn't expect, what it's kind of like how I thought it would be. It's a little under pathways. It's definitely colder than I expected. Looks like Kiev. That's funky. Advertisement to study in the US. So this neighborhood is truly buzzing. So many people, that's how I know China. And definitely much more street vendors. I'm going into side street, the men with the hats that I came to know and love. Seriously,
the old people, they just know how to dress. They have something about them, you know. Back in the old days, you had to look proper. There was one way to dress, and then when you get an old timer, you see it's all ironed, it's all cleaned. It's a matter of self-respect in that generation. I like it. So I'm not exactly sure where I'm wandering in right now. So back there is certainly the business district. Here looks like some other kind of business they're doing. What do you sell? What's that? Shampoo. Very nice. I thought it was like a very big condom. Yeah. Okay. I don't need it, but thank you. Yes. My brother. Guys, it's so cold. My throat. I actually remember a little bit of my Uzbek lingua. Rahmat is thank you. And Uzbek language, but it's also the same in Tajik. In some ways, the language have similarities, even though the Tajiks are Persian. But yeah, it's quite surreal to see a big part of Uzbek culture here in China on the ground, mixed with China that I know, really. So, smoking is a huge thing in China. Everybody having a cig on the street in terms of that. And honestly, I think as long as you don't cause trouble, this is my personal experience on the ground, it can be hard getting around. Like I saw some people on the internet, they were like arriving in China, they cannot figure out their app, how to get around. They cannot figure out the VPN situation. Not all VPNs work. And then they're like, it's so controlled here, so bad, I'm leaving. And then you leave to go where? I mean, really, like, if you don't cause trouble here, you're gonna be good. And out of personal experience, I wander around in China more freely into places than maybe in other spots and honestly, this place, this place is buzzing. So we got the pomegranate man in front of me. So you see, it sounds like somebody recorded their language and now it's just yelling. So they even, like, the Uyghurs, the Uzbeks of the region, they're up with technology. They're not standing themselves anymore yelling into the microphones. They're recording the voice and blasting it. It's quite funny, actually. We got some cut melon on the side of the road. And yeah, this is the first time actually I'm seeing something like that in Urumqi, like a proper, yeah, really busy market, almost a Nepal vibe it gives me in terms of the busyness, how much there's going on here. But yeah, that's quite cool. One street next to it, super modern. You go in the back street. I mean, Shanghai has that to some extent too, but not like that. Not like that. I gotta be told. The dude's just driving through here, and I'm right after him. He's carving the path for me. So at this point, my flight's already in 3-4 hours. So we definitely have to make sure to get soon to the hotel. What I did notice is that accommodation in this part of China is even more affordable, like what you get for your money, than anywhere else. Like really good hotels, like 4 or 5 star, go for $50, some of them. And then like nice, basic, clean room. Look at that, the Chinese grapes. They're really good actually. In other countries, they sell them at a huge premium. So look at that. Abduheni's Cuisine. Hello. Some people are very receptive to the camera, others are normal. Like, what are you doing? I get it. But you feel the vibe. It is different. It is a unique place in China. I'm gonna say that. And then you wander into a hot pot place. The grill is popping, and it smells good. That I can tell you. Ooh, last couple of minutes in Xinjiang. So that is definitely different. I wandered into a very busy mall, no other way to say it. And it looks like it's mostly like local people, business. Super interesting, like the way the industry operates here is really like in the olden days, in the sense of it's a lot of buyers, you know, a lot of people go to these like little mall shops. Look at that, the first time I'm seeing a plus-sized man. Boys, we gotta fight for our rights. Well, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, for real. Interesting. So the one takeaway that I have actually from wandering through this neighborhood, also these like shops, is the Uighur people, especially the women, they really know how to dress. I mean, before I was like, where was I? Local markets, mostly grandpas walking around. I already appreciated their drip, but here it's like younger people, and also we're like in the more fancy area, obviously. So you're seeing some of them are also, you know, having their own like also like different, very different fashion. So the tall, oh yeah, that is the tallest building of Urumqi. Looks like it's the CITIC Chinese bank. I don't know, I guess like 200 meters maybe. So nothing compared to like Shanghai or anything like that, but the city doesn't have like the tallest skyscraper still, you know. The moment actually I crossed from Kazakhstan into here, changes. Like the building's gone from 10, maybe 15 floors to like starting at 20, 30. That's a small one pretty much. Yeah, let's talk about it. So first of all, this neighborhood is quite nice, quite interesting. It's like some older buildings. Even the skyscrapers looks like they have been here around for at least, like I would say, a good 10-15 years would be my guess. I think this is the bank, the tallest tower. From the viewpoint we already saw it. Let's say like that. I started off today's journey going into the Grand Bazaar, and it's very, like I said, inspired by Uzbek architecture, by what's it called, Timurid architecture. The columns looks a lot like Bukhara. And what I didn't mention is actually also this part of Xinjiang a long time ago used to be obviously also part of the Silk Road trading route, transporting goods from China to Europe. That's what like really Uzbekistan is famous for. That's when the golden era was, when they built all these cities there. And there in this neighborhood that we were in the beginning, it felt like 60-70% don't look like, you know, the classic Chinese. Like, you know, the Uyghurs, they're also Chinese, they have Chinese passports, things like that. And that was actually a guy that I met in the previous video when I was arriving here. He shared with me a lot. And they're really like, in some ways, old school life, but the Chinese also do it old school in terms of the street food, grilling up stuff, street food on the street, things like that. A little bit older, that neighborhood. And then we're here, and if you would just drop off somebody that has been in China before, maybe if you really know China, if you would live, you might see some nuances that are a bit different. But other than that, like the malls, everything else, feels like really, for the most part, a regular Chinese cities, and all the good and perhaps busy ways of how it is sometimes. Still struggling sometimes myself to navigate China. It's definitely one of the bit more challenging countries to travel, because in terms of like signs and language, you know, you got to get used to using Google Translate, which I very rarely do. I became good at sign language. And what I didn't expect actually is that they would really kind of like put in scene this whole Uzbek culture, make this whole old town, make it kind of like a travel destinations. Everywhere there's like drawings of like Uyghur people dancing on signs, on lots of merchandise. Like this whole neighborhood is really all around that. So I was thinking maybe it's just a group of people that lives in all of the city, in all of the state, and people just live together. Or who knows, you know, maybe you don't see their culture that much, but actually in many ways it's almost made into a tourist attraction. And to be fair, Uzbekistan itself is probably busier, much busier tourism than here. Like that's what I didn't expect when I was in Uzbekistan, is actually that the cities are so full of tourists. And I think most people don't really know how these two groups of people, they're more or less the same from what I've been told culturally. But here I do have to say a little bit more fruit street stands, things like that, than let's say I saw in Shanghai or Suzhou or cities like that, Shenzhen. But I like it, I dig it. This is actually the first time. Look at that chicken. Looks really good. But as always, of course, it's fully China developed in the sense of, okay, let's cross the street. Alipay everywhere, easy to get around. Even the metro. I don't think there's that many metro lines in Urumqi, only that one I took. But it goes through the whole city, pretty much, all the way to the airport. And I am actually quite excited to be back in China. Let's wrap up the video, I would say. I'm gonna probably film another video how I'm gonna be leaving and where I'm gonna be leaving. I'm not leaving China quite yet, in some way. I don't know if I should already share with you. Should I do it? But basically, I crossed the land border to get here from Kazakhstan, and it's a different world. I mean, here truly, like, I didn't expect to be eating love here necessarily, but we did that even. We're looking at me right into the man. For me, it's gonna be time to leave. Honestly, I've spent in Central Asia a bit more time than I expected, maybe even than I wanted, because I was not ready for it. Like, bought this hoodie. This is the warmest that I have, and I'm freezing. It's like -5 right now. The sun is going down. My hands, I barely feel them. But it was truly very interesting. So the one thing you're gonna see that is a bit different in Xinjiang, like the whole, let's say, police presence is very high. Depending on the neighborhood, if it's very busy, there's basically a car. There's 2 guys on top with guns. They look serious. They're like, I wouldn't mess around here. But other than that, it was actually pretty chill. I walked all around town, different neighborhoods, and it was very interesting. Maybe one of the most interests that I had, maybe back in the day when I traveled for the first time, I came to Hong Kong. Back then, there was even less of what I knew what to expect. But this time around, I was like, yo, Xinjiang, I mean, population of millions of people, 4 million, a little bit more than that. How is it gonna be? And it truly was. Let's see. And it truly was a unique city. I'm just walking by when I get those guys in the back in their car. Ooh, cool neighborhood. Taxi, yeah. Yeah. Yes. So we made it to Urumqi airport on a hazy, cold evening. Looks like those are car rentals. They're having pink Jeep looking cars. I don't know if it is a Jeep, but yeah, I hope I'm at the right terminal. I'm actually very good on time now. With the airport, not the newest, but fairly large, at least the entrance area. But everything is in Chinese, every single thing. So yeah, not like a Shanghai, definitely. But I asked a guy, he told me 2627 is check-in for Shanghai, so it should be good. For, what is it? China Eastern Airlines. Okay guys, so after my trip to Xinjiang, I think I'm gonna splurge a little bit. Made it through security. Oh, what an adventure that was once again. Security checking everything is crazy. So basically, they touch you down from like all sides. Let's see how many yuan's gonna get it started any moment. I hope this seat's not gonna kick me out, because in the mall it was kicking me out. Nothing wrong with that. It's just, I mean, for safety purposes, there's no way I could have carried anything in there. Basically for like 3-4 minutes from all sides, under clothing as well. So I have a couple of layers, so all the layers were checked. That's the first. And so what else I want to say? Oh, I'm happy to get to Shenzhen, definitely. Like, as much as Urumqi was fun, I think it's like a fun to explore. But of course, compared to other Chinese cities, there's just so many more that are just much more chill. Like Shanghai was actually really chill, even though busy. It's such a huge city, you would expect more regulation, securities, regular stuff. But here, yeah, it's a little bit. It's also the cold weather, honestly, that makes everything a little bit. Boarding in an hour.
And so this has been the full Urumqi Xinjiang experience, from entering the country, going through border towns, trains, to the biggest city in the state. And all I wanted to see is just, how does daily life look? How would the travel experience look? Will I be able to go anywhere I want? Will there be more complications than traveling anywhere else in China? As you see, some shots from Shanghai. Recently I've been to Shenzhen, Guangzhou, Fuzhou, many cities in the last year in China. All of these videos you're able to find on the channel. Just go through it, enjoy, and we're gonna see each other very soon.